Welcome to the V-tox, made especially for Detox Your World's Passion magazine. First up, we get juicy with Jason Vale. So here I am in the Juicemaster's factory, the Juicy Factory, and I'm going to have a little chat with Jason now about what gets him all juiced. So Jason.
Hi Vic, how you doing? All right?
Good, yeah. Thank you for inviting us. So what I'd like to know is, you've made a massive transformation in your life, and I'd like to know, when was the turning point for you? Because you don't just believe in just juicing for great health, you believe in what you feed yourself visually, emotionally, mentally. So what was the point when you said, enough is enough, I want to change my life, and what did you do?
Yeah, a lot of people say that. It wasn't one particular thing. I mean, I was a heavy smoker, I was a heavy drinker, I was also very heavy. I had severe psoriasis and hay fever and asthma. I knew, as everybody does I believe, that fruits and vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, what I call no-label food that doesn't require a label, fundamentally is the best thing for the human body. And then I came across this guy who was 87 years old, and he lived on the streets of London. And he said, yeah, but I go down the market at the end of the day and they give me free bags of fruit and veg. He said, it's all raw, it's all good. And he said, as simple as this. And it was one sentence that effectively can shape you and change how you view everything. And he simply said, look, unless I look after my body, I'll have nowhere to live.
What inspired you to start retreats? And have you got a favourite success story from one of your retreats?
Yeah, I mean, it's the people who have read my books that inspired me to do retreats, because on our website they said, have you thought about doing a retreat? So literally I thought, yeah, why not? So we booked what I believe is one of the most incredible places on earth, and you were there and you know. And then I thought, introduce some high-end, he does Tai Chi, yoga and everything else, but also do some mini trampolining on a beach, or to a sunset, something a little bit different. And we've introduced loads of things over the years, but there are seminars clearly. But beyond that, people think they're going to struggle juicing for 7 days, and actually it's the last thing you remember. You don't remember living on nothing but juice for 7 days because you've enjoyed the time there so much. And I want to move away from the detox feeling of getting through it to actually enjoying the process. As for success stories, I suppose one springs to mind, and that's we've got our own private island on one of our retreats, and on this private island there's stairs going up to now the mountains, there's a small mountain. And a lady called Monica came on. She's in her 70s and severely arthritic. Could barely walk any distance at all. Living on juices with the warmth and air and everything else. She not only, got to the island, but she climbed up this mountain. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. My mum walked with her step by step, and she was on there, and it was quite emotional. And now it's called Monica's Mountain.
What kind of juice can you make for me now that is good for boosting immunity?
Listen, I've been dying to make you a juice. That's why I'm in the little juice kitchen. Couple of tips for those of you who are new to juicing. By the way, if you haven't got a juicer, just buy one, right? And get juicing. It's going to save your life. Look, put a bag in here first. It saves you having to clean this little pot. It's only a little tip. In a plastic bag, it's up to you. And here's a simple thing. You said about immune building. If somebody wants to stop a cold or prevent it, there is one juice really that actually, if you have this every morning, it's called a ginger shot. Now you might have ever had one of these. If you want this is from a friend of mine now, Casper, who owns a juice bar in Denmark called Joe and the Juice. Now we put that in there. Look at the size of that piece of ginger that I'm putting in. Big lump of ginger, normally to one apple, right? One apple, that lump of ginger, boom, it's a shot. But there's two of us, so we're just going to do this, and I'm going to make you a shot. So all we do is put this down, very simple.
Look at that. Yeah.
Very simple. Takes seconds to make the juice. Now this thing's going to blow your head off, Victoria, I'm telling you. This is one of these a day. Ginger is a natural antibiotic. It's a natural antihistamine. Those of you with hay fever, if anybody's watching this with hay fever, this is the baby. Boom, get some of this in. Saves you having to rely on the drugs with no side effects whatsoever.
Ooh, thank you.
Right, now, down that. I tell you, that's going to blow you. Love this stuff. You need a shot. You've got to down it in one.
That's really nice. Oh.
Ooh! Ooh!
I feel
seriously nothing.
Boosted, immunity boosted.
Telling you, man, nothing is going to live through that.
So on behalf of all the V-tox viewers, I'd like to say a big thank you to Jason Vale for juicing us up today in his new Juice Factory kitchen.
Pleasure. Always got a chink at the end. It's always the cheesy little chink. and may the juice be with you.
Jason Vale there with some really useful tips for juicing. Now we're going to head over to the Fresh and Live Mama's kitchen for a very tantalising recipe. I have a fabulous recipe for you, and this is decadent mulberry chocolate brownies, and here are my ingredients. And what we have today, we have cacao butter, hemp protein powder, cacao powder and carob powder, and then this really delicious coconut sugar, which is a raw evaporated sap from the coconut. And we have cashew flour, which I whizzed up in my blender, my high-speed blender, to make it into a very fine flour. If you don't have a high-speed blender, you can do this in a coffee mill, or you could actually just have whole cashews and put it in the food processor later. Then we have the really delicious coconut butter and cacao butter melted together, which smells heavenly. And then we have these really delightful little berries called mulberries, and they're dried mulberries, and they're really sweet and tasty. And then last but not least, we have some dates, and these are just medjool dates, which are very sticky and caramelly. And so these are our main ingredients for the brownies. So what I'm going to do is very simple. We just pop all these into the food processor and we process it up. So very, very quick. Take this off, grab a spoon, and what I'll do first is I'll put in the cashew flour. Just pop this in. That's about 1.5 cups of cashew flour. And then I'll pop the mulberries in. Let's put those in, and because we're not going to blend it too much, then we'll just have the mulberries will just sort of like mix in very nicely. Then we'll pop in the dates as well, and then we've put the powders in next. So I'll put in the hemp protein powder. Just 1 tablespoon of this will suffice. And pop this over here, and then we've got the cacao powder. I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of cacao powder because they're chocolate brownies and they're decadent chocolate brownies. So that's 3 tablespoons of the cacao powder. And then we have carob powder, which is a very sweet mealy powder, which is from the carob pods, ground up carob pods. And we're going to pop just 2 tablespoons of carob powder into this mixture. There we go, a little bit more. That's lovely. And then this coconut sugar, which is, oh, it's delicious. It tastes good. You could just eat it straight from here. And I'm just going to put 2 heaped tablespoons in. Now, of course, the dates are going to make this recipe quite sweet already, and the mulberries are sweet, but this is something that's just to make it even more decadent. And then we're going to pour in the cacao butter. In it goes. Oh, that smells lovely. And that's it. So everything's poured in. And if you want to, which I'm going to for this one, just a little tiny bit of vanilla essence. If you do have vanilla pods, that'll be even better. But I don't have any to hand. So that's it. That's all my ingredients. Pop the lid on, like so. And then off we go. I'm just going to pulse it. And that will be it. So now we have this really sticky, gooey mixture. I'm just going to scoop out the brownie mixture. I've washed my hands, they're nice and clean. But to be honest, it will just be me eating this anyway, so never mind. And we'll just pop it onto the chopping board. I'm going to put this in the freezer for about 10 minutes so that the cacao butter sets nicely. So here we go. I'm going to mould this. And of course, as soon as the cacao butter and the coconut butter meet the cold air, this will start to solidify and become a very delicious decadent brownie indeed. Now, of course, if you've got little ones, they can help you with the moulding. I know that my little daughter, she loves to help put her hands in the chocolate. She may lick her fingers a few times, but don't we all? Okay, so that's nice, that's done. And all I need to do now is sprinkle some of this coconut sugar on the top just for a nice effect. So here are our finished brownies, ready to eat. They've been setting in the freezer for the last 10 minutes, and I'm just going to have to try one. Just right. Very decadent. The mulberries, oh, they're really chewy and delicious. Thank you for watching the V-tox. Now, if you have any fabulous recipes using the products from detoxyourworld.com, then do share them with us, and you can post all your comments below. In the meantime, keep detoxing your world.
Bestow upon